look at us. Have you noticed how divided we are? Left versus right, pro-vaccination, anti-vaccination. Our society is in pain. We're a bunch of identities that constantly struggle to matter. Black lives matter, Asian lives matter, Jewish lives matter, Latino lives matter. My cry for harmony started in 6th grade. It was a family tree project. We had to put the names on a tree. And so I went to my grandparents, my dad's side, only to learn that they survived the Jewish Holocaust. Almost their entire family got shot by the Nazis into a hole in the ground in Poland, in the middle of a forest. But that wasn't the worst part of their stories. There was another story about a little girl that played the violin very, very well. And when the Nazis came in town, they cut both her hands off, so she could never play the violin again. Now, I was at the time also a little girl that played the violin very, very well. And this story terrified me. No, it traumatized me. I kept thinking to myself, it could have been me. As a child, I had nightmares about the Jewish Holocaust. And so in order to block, I had to disconnect. And from this point on, I didn't want to talk about that story, my family story, or the Jewish Holocaust. You know, sometimes it takes time for people to come to terms with who they are and where they're coming from. In my case, it was music that helped me through the process. I moved to New York City all the way from Israel to study jazz music, the art of musical improvisation. I was a student that played with other students, other musicians. We all came from different backgrounds, different religions, different cultures, different struggles. Some of us didn't even speak English, but we all spoke the language of music. I connected to the African American music and struggle in particular. I realized that I wasn't the only one carrying a story of racism. I was playing jazz and hip-hop music, and I didn't feel that alone anymore. I was obsessed with the message of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I felt as he was speaking to me. And so I wrote this song, Symphony of Brotherhood, featuring MLK.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Symphony of Brotherhood.
A Jewish girl from Israel featuring MLK. Surreal, right? But to me, it was the most natural thing in the world. Dr. King's message is a universal message. Struggle is struggle. I didn't know that years later, I'll be performing this very song at the White House as a special request by First Lady Michelle Obama. I kept asking myself, How do we bring that symphony of brotherhood, that harmony into our lives, into our society? It was then that I realized that the answer is in music. And the same 4 factors that create harmony in music can create harmony in society. Sound like magic, right? But it's true. Factor 1, learning. Before you play with others, you need to learn how to play. It takes years of practicing to master any skill. I used to practice the violin 4 hours a day when I was only 12 years old. When you present yourself in front of others, when you play for others, you carry an essential responsibility for what you share, for what you have to offer. In the process of learning, we need to understand and acknowledge what came before us and use that experience and our skills to create harmony. Factor 2, listening. In music, we listen differently. We don't listen the same way we listen while having a conversation. When we talk over each other or think about what the other person is saying while they're talking to us. Our mind is so busy. We have this little voice in our head that is always judging, always having an opinion, always thinking. If you ask yourself what little voice she's talking about, that little voice. But when we play music, that little voice becomes quiet, and we become present, where we could truly listen to what's going on. The vibe, the rhythm, the energy, the mood. Factor 3, self-expression. Music gives us freedom. The total self-expression, the ability to freestyle. It allows you to be you and share your talent, your gift with others in order to create something beautiful. When you put yourself out there and get vulnerable, you become a part of something bigger than yourself. And only from that space, you know when to push and when to compromise in order to sound amazing together with others. Factor 4, jamming. Jamming is a word in music that describes playing together, improvising together, getting creative together with others in group settings. It's a type of communication when you listen to what's going on and feed off each other's energy. You don't need to be a musician in order to jam with others, but you need to want it. You need to make an effort. The possibilities of jamming are endless. Let me show you how it works. Here is a song I wrote. It's called Waterfall. It's for violin, and whoever is around to clap with me, and since it's you today, you're gonna be clapping with me. Let's jam. Let me hear you clapping. Keep it going, clap, 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 clap. 1, 2, 3, 4, let's go. awesome. You see, we never met before, and we just played a song together. I know you're probably thinking that my part was way more complicated, and you're only clapping. And it's true, maybe my part was a little bit more sophisticated. But the truth is that it takes some effort to clap together. You know, people have different clapping style, different rhythms. Some people put their heart into their clapping. Some people got the cool clap, like this gentleman right here with a black shirt. Some people got the polite, I call it the Carnegie Hall clap. You know, you get the idea, we're different, but we still made a collective effort to clap and jam together. Now, why did we make this effort? Because in music, we need each other in order to sound good. We need each other in order to sound good. Because if one of us is out of sync, we're out of sync. If one of us doesn't sound good, we don't sound good. The more we listen, the more we jam together, the better harmony we create in music and society, where every individual voice matters and must work collectively with everything else. You know, this is part of the reason why I always recommend for people to pick up musical instrument, for that experience, for that listening, for that self-expression, for that jamming together. Imagine a world where we can start our business meetings, negotiations, resolve conflicts with 5 to 10 minutes musical jam session. Believe me, the world would be a better place. You see, we don't need to be the same. Our beauty is in our differences. We don't need to agree on everything, but we must work on our listening and learn how to use our self-expression when jamming with others in order to create a better harmony. You know, I sometimes feel, as I play this violin for this one little girl, that little girl came from a world that didn't have any harmony. But this violin taught me how to listen, how to express myself freely, and jam with people all over the world to create harmony. Enough with the division. We're one people, one race. And these 4 factors I just mentioned can create harmony, not only in music, but also in society. We just need to want it. We need to make an effort. So ask yourself, what can you do to bring more harmony to the world? Thank you very, very much.